Oh my god!
Sick.
Because that was gonna be the first time I ever wore a suit, and I always wanted to wear a suit. So I'm like, yo,
got your suit on today. I'm wearing a suit every day.
Yeah, like I always wanted to wear a suit, and that was gonna be the time that I popped out with my suit, and it didn't happen, you know. But then transitioning into college, you know, my first semester it was virtual.
Philly, Philly, Philly's where I am from. You are tuned into the Philly Culture Podcast. If you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of the episode. I am your host, Tanja Morris, the founder of Sisters with the Agenda and Your Culture Connection. And we have Kaima Akbar, the co-host of Urban Queens. And we have came together to put on and shine a little light on Philly. The Philly Culture Podcast is here to talk about our upbringing in the city of Philadelphia and how it has birthed our hustle. Philly has some great creators, entrepreneurs, and community leaders who have been creating cultures in the city of Philadelphia for years. So stay tuned and check out some of the great people we have. And if you missed out on any episodes, make sure you go back and follow. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do so now. All right, guys, we are back live for the Philly Culture Podcast, and we have Milaj here joining us. I'm Tanja Morris, the founder of Sisters with the Agenda, your co-host for the Philly Culture Podcast and the Culture Connection. I'm here with my co-host,
Kai Akbar. You guys know me, Urban Queens, owner and creator. And today we have Milaj. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. My name is Milaj Robinson. I am the CEO and founder of Youth Creating New Beginnings. Basically, my organization really targets the youth in the inner city, and just to target them into a positive light and help them get to success is the best way as possible.
Awesome. So tell us about your upbringing. What birthed your hustle?
Yeah, so I'm from North Philly.
Okay.
I'm from Logan.
Philly,
I'm from Logan. So Logan, we really don't claim North like that.
Oh, no, okay.
we push the North aside.
Boundaries, right?
Yeah. So, but you know, I'm from Logan.
Okay.
But I grew up in Longcrest and Logan. However, you know, I played basketball growing up and stuff like that, and I always just been like a hard worker. You know, like when it comes to going to the gym, I was going to the gym every single day, consistently, like because I knew hard work would come with results. However, when I got to like 11th grade, I realized like, all right, I don't got no offers, I don't got no college recruits coming in. So like, I'm like, all right, let's be realistic. Like, what can I fall back on?
Right.
And,
I like that part.
And yeah, like I had good grades. Not my 9th grade year. My 9th grade year was pretty bad, but the end of my 10th grade year and my 11th grade year, I'm like, all right, let me get all A's. I straight got all A's my whole 11th grade year because I knew they looked at, you know, 9th and 10th grade.
Right.
After that, during my 11th grade year, I took a class called Civics.
Okay.
So, Mr. Caven, shout out to him. Probably one of the coolest teachers ever. He was just teaching us about the fundamentals of policy and politics and, you know, just civic engagement work in general. And nobody in our school knew these, you know, the basic fundamentals of...
Because I don't know about politics. Something that they rarely teach.
Yes. Like when it came to being detained or, you know, like knowing our rights and stuff like that. Like that made me feel like I was 10 times smarter because I knew my rights. You know what I'm trying to say? So like, I'm like, all right.
When
so,
you know.
Yeah, for real. And I was so interested in, my mom always used to watch like CNN and like the news stations and stuff like that. But I was never really interested in that. But I was coming home telling like, Mom, I just found out what the amendments are. I just found out about the fundamental, the Bill of Rights, like stuff like that. And she was like, I think that can be something that you look into, right? So after that, I started actually like looking into it, and I'm like, you know what? All right, when I go to college, this is what I'm gonna study. So after 11th grade, I started my nonprofit organization, Youth Creating New Beginnings. So I didn't really know that Youth Creating New Beginnings was a civic type of organization. I would just wanted to help people. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was just on the type time where as though I'm just helping the youth. I did a gun violence prevention summit, youth talk heavy event. That was my first big event. We was doing like, you know, clothes drives and book bag drives and stuff like that for the youth.
But let me take it back a little bit before we even get into present day, because so like what
like shifted your mindset to be? You talked about basketball, but like, who were the people around you growing up, right? Because most people coming out of Logan, coming out of North Philly, we could say that, you know, they go the opposite route, right? And even the ones sometimes that play basketball, and I even like that mindset of being realistic. Because some of them will just keep
try to ride
that train, knowing that they're not seeing no results. So like, who was the people in your life that was like really instilling these things in you?
I mean, like my basketball coach, my trainer, Coach Sean, he was like a big brother figure to me. He wasn't just teaching me basketball; he was teaching me about life in general. He had a wife, he got kids. He taught me the principles of what a man is. You know what I'm trying to say? And I just took heed, like them car rides to pick me up and go to the gym. We talk about life stuff, and the car ride back, we talk about more life stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? So like, this is about morals and ethics and stuff like that. But when it comes to the hood, I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to find myself in the midst of, you know, transitioning into politics and basketball into, you know, my dream now. So I'm not gonna lie, I was, you know, selling drugs and stuff like that. And one of my big brothers, shout out to Lil, he called me because my mom kicked me out for a little bit. He came to my crib and we had a whole conversation. Like, he was just like, bro, that's not cool. He was just telling me, like, the biggest thing that stood out to me, he said, the people that's on 8th Street right now, they was there 5 years ago and they're going to still be there the next 5 years. He said, or maybe they not. Like, some of them not here from 5 years ago. And in the next 5 years, they probably still not.
Reality check.
So I'm like, dang, that really stuck out to me the most. And just looking back at it, he was 10 times right. I see a lot of people, you know, that lost their life to the street stuff, not even just by gun violence, but you know, the system and, you know, telling and stuff like that. They can never come back around. They can never be the same person that they was. So it just
or just trying to be in the life and you're not really about the life. That's a lot of my students that passed away. I worked at Simon Grant, and a lot of them was like the one that was on the outskirts, ain't really about it, but you being a follower. They were the ones that always got killed. It was actually a basketball player, Ross Carter, and they who was the guy? Several people. Rashad, what's the basketball player from Gratz?
Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace came out and spoke and did a memorial for him. They had a whole gun violence thing, just to pay tribute to him. But it was sad because, you know, hanging with the wrong crowd, wrong people. For you, what high school did you go to?
I was going to ask you.
I went to PET, Philadelphia Electrical and Technology. It's downtown. It's downtown 15th and Chestnut. They just moved it. They just got a whole new building. Shout out to them too, because they
that building that was on the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And how did you hear about that? Was you going for a trade or?
I always wanted to go to school downtown, so I was applying for every single school downtown. Like,
you said you was very assertive. As a young person. Definitely see what yours said.
I knew there was a lot of girls down there every time. I wanted to be downtown in the mix after school, but that's the real reason.
So you're 20 years old. Were you going to school downtown? Because I know there was a time when they had to shut the stores down because of all of the, what was they called, the flash mobs and stuff like that.
My school was the main school that was really doing it. Like, to be honest,
wow.
It was like, so that's where. So it's funny because all the beef that's going on right now, it started from that flash mob and, you know, fighting and stuff like that. Like, it was all these type of different, like, groups and stuff like that, different hoods. They was coming downtown to fight. Like, that was like the main thing. Like, and I was in it a little teeny bit. I wouldn't say I was like one of the main headline person, but I'm rocking for my hood. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, but yeah, like,
why? Because I'm, you know, you got different generations here, y'all.
Right.
We trying to get some questions answered. But that was a big part of the Philly culture because I think at that time I might have been at Pickett, but it went from being at like Broad and Erie, Broad and Logan, and then transitioned to downtown.
Right.
So why do you think that it started, like, hood started coming downtown? Because before it would be your turf. I know when I grew up, I know my brother used to go to Camelot and he had to get on the bus right there at under Logan. So Logan would, you ain't from our hood, so you know, or vice versa, wherever station you would be. But why was they taking it down?
So it was on a type time where as though, so first, like you said, they had territory. So Del Val, King, all that up there in Uptown. That was B&O was they meet up shop, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So like so it's different hoods that's from down there, Uptown and stuff like that. Then. Downtown is like the middle, like it's center city. Yeah, so like, so everybody from all over, like
anybody can come down.
Everybody,
pretty
like
much free,
it's like
free,
like it's like
we can do whatever.
It's fear, like it's fear, like all right, I'm not in nobody territory. This is all. You know what I'm trying to say? So everybody from all different schools was coming, like, and we used to think it was so fun the whole time. Looking back at it, like that's where the division came in at. That's where all the beef and stuff like that still traveling on to this day from back then. You know what I'm trying to say? And it'll be people that used to be rocking with each other, like now they killing each other. Like it's crazy, like how it really started from there and how we looked at it like it was just fun and like.
Have you came across anybody in your program that you may have came across in those situations?
Yeah. So yes, like it's a lot of people that I'm not gonna say that's in my program, but if I put him on with resources and stuff like that, I look at that as he a part of the family.
Right,
you know what I'm trying to say? But it's definitely a lot of people that came back to me like, yo, bro, like I'm trying to find a job, or like, but what you be doing, bro? Like, and they be trying to figure out what I'm doing, but I'll be like, what you want to do? You know what I'm trying to say? And that's where we bridge that gap and be like, all right, you want to work in construction? Or I know a construction person that got in a union. Let me put you on with a union, and then that we go from there. But yeah, it'd be a lot of people that really come back to me and be like, yo, bro, I love what you're doing. Like, and I'm like, all right, that's cool and all, but what you want to do? Like, it's not really about me. For real, I want my spotlight to be putting other people on. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's really my goal.
So real quick, before we transition off of this subject, as going into the politician field, how does it make you feel that they stop like letting y'all in the stores downtown? Because that was a big part, and I know for me as an educator, I was feeling some type of way. Like I remember, I think they were trying to take y'all trans passes and they were trying to do everything to keep y'all from going down there. So like as a young person, did y'all even think of those type of things? Did that affect y'all at that time?
I mean, we knew you was drunk. Like we knew that like every time, right? Like in Liberty Place, we going like that's the main place that they was going at, like Liberty Place. Like I got into a little fight in Liberty Place. But
by J. Crew.
But
in there by J. Crew.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get some Chick-fil-A.
I'll do.
I see somebody that jumped my homie and he want to jump me now. Like, all right, like, but
there's a Chick-fil-A.
It's just like it was just on that type time. Like, yeah, we was like, are you drawn? Because at the end of the day, we was going in there really just to get something to eat, or I'm trying to get some little tea, some Burlington. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we wasn't really on it, but we understood. Like, at the back of our mind, we understood that. Like what we've been doing,
right from wrong.
Yeah, we understood that a lot of people have been doing a lot of stuff when it comes to like that area.
Right.
So like we can't be mad at them because they're not trying to let us in, even though we not on it. Like, so
I thought they were more like down by the fashion district, what you said over there by Liberty Place.
Oh, so that was alright. So that was before my time.
The fashion district?
The fashion district before my time.
I knew about
like the gallery. Remember the gallery?
Right. Yeah.
Like so.
No, that was way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They used to
this was. I remember it was all Chestnut Street.
Yeah.
And then they had all of the Holohan and your school and all of those different schools.
Fieri. My school. It was funny. My 9th grade year. Our schools was beefing. Like, just because I went to PET, we had to fight Chad people the first week. Like, it was just on a division type of mindset. Like, we just was groomed into it. We was ready for it. Like, all right, we ain't turkey. Like, we on it. But the whole time, stupid, you know.
Well, and that's good that a lot of y'all, well, majority of y'all realize the decisions that y'all was making. Because like you said, after a while, it was like, dang, I can't even just move. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you can't even just move and you gotta always watch your back and you start to look at the bigger picture.
How would y'all even remember each other's faces though? Because like you said back in the day, it was more central to like one area, so you would know. But like if y'all coming from 5 different schools, I'd be lost. I'd be beat up.
It was the social media.
Oh,
you know, like groups.
That part.
You know, we had groups. It was
okay, I'm showing my age. Okay, social
MTG,
media, right?
It was all types of different groups there.
You're not the Finsta era.
Say it again.
The Finsta. The fist.
I mean, the fist era.
You're a little older than the fist.
I don't really. I mean, I know people that got fences, but I really don't get into that. Like, I don't really.
Y'all different breed. Social media, I'm telling you,
changed the game.
It's changed the game.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it.
See, for us back in our days, they wore certain jackets. So like we knew like blue diamond jackets was like a certain neighborhood.
Okay.
You had black diamond jackets. Then you had like the ones that wore the state prop jacket. That's how we knew the different neighborhoods. And it'd be like, okay, here they come. Because they're coming up heavy. That's how it was. Like my generation was like,
I don't know. Really? Wow.
And the same thing with the Logan people. I remember the Logan people jumped my brother, and I had to go to school like, yo, jump my brother. Like, we gonna have to get him one-on-one. Right. But it's crazy how, certain things change, but with social media, it definitely elevated the problem.
Right.
For sure. For sure.
But that's why I appreciate what you're doing as a young man, 20 years old, deciding to make this decision, and even stepping into the politic world, but just to be able to be a voice and a face. And that's how I kind of really started following your page when we were in the pandemic, and we as staff in the school, we had to build a social media page. So I saw your page, and different kids knew about.
You was following me since the pandemic. Oh my God, that's crazy.
But not through my platform now. It was through my dean page.
Okay.
So I think different students might have told me about you because they're like your age, 20, 21, 22. That group, that class of 2020.
Yeah.
I was class of 2020.
Okay.
So real quick, how did it feel being a product of class of 2020? Because I know how it felt to me.
How about that?
It set me back a lot. I'm in a position that I'm in right now for being a product of class of 2020, right? Because when you think about it, we didn't have, our senior year, we didn't have no senior trip. We didn't have prom. We didn't have graduation. I couldn't go visit Morehouse because that same week that they shut everything down was the week I was supposed to go travel to go to Morehouse. So
y'all didn't have a graduation?
We didn't have a graduation. We had a virtual graduation. And
they was right in the midst of it. That was June of 2020, right? Okay. Wow.
So I was busting down walls. I was like, my kids gonna have graduation. You don't do? Yeah. We because this is when we saw. I think it went viral down like in the suburban when they was doing the drive-by. So I was like, at the end of the day, you can't allow our kids to see this and not act on it.
Right.
So my school building, we had different stories. So the 12th graders classes was on the first floor, and most of this class had started there in that building in 6th grade.
Wow.
So I had a committee, and the committee was like, okay, we fighting for this. Yeah, like you can't, and that was hard for me to see that, like you see in the suburban schools finding a way, and we can't find a way for our kids. So they actually got to walk through the building. Staff cheered them on. They was able to have a family out there. We had different photo booths and stuff like that. And it was crazy because right before the pandemic shut down, we did a lock-in. Because for me, this was my first year working with 12th graders at that. And my mindset was, okay, 12th grade, we need to celebrate all year. We're not going to wait till the end of the school year. And so they were able to get their senior shirts. And we had a lock-in.
DT
gonna make hair feel okay. But for kids like you, I knew, like even once we had our final prom, like certain kids came to our prom. This was like 2 years later, and they came and crashed the prom because that I couldn't imagine.
Wanted it.
Like I had an option not to go in my year, but you go to school for 12 years to wait for those proms.
Yeah, I was. Oh my God! Because that was gonna be the first time I ever wore a suit, and I always wanted to wear a suit. So I'm like, yo,
got your suit on today. I'm wearing a suit every day.
Like I always wanted to wear a suit, and that was gonna be the time that I popped out with my suit. And it didn't happen, but then transitioning into college, my first semester, it was virtual, so I didn't get that freshman experience.
Wow.
You know what I'm trying to say? I never got that freshman experience. I was taking classes online, and I was home. A lot of my friends didn't even go to college too, so it wasn't the environment I was in that learning
conducive to what you needed to be focusing on. Wow.
Right. So it's Zooms. That's when Zoom. I had a whole scholarship interview or whatever, and I didn't know how to work Zoom. So I'm typing up the link instead of copying and pasting the link, and it didn't go right, you know. So I missed out on a whole full scholarship from that, right? And then my freshman year, like I said, my whole freshman year, I did terrible. That whole, when it comes to grade wise, I did terrible.
Because mentally, it was a lot. It was a lot for y'all to process, and just everything also going on with Black people in general. Like, and that's why it was hard for me as a dean, because I'm like, dang, these kids is really going through a transition that's going to impact y'all for a while, because y'all got snatched away from a certain memory, like going to college your first year, your freshman year, and you was about to go to Morehouse. You had, how many acceptance letters did you have?
I had 40. I had more than 40.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I thought my 10 was doing something. He said 40.
Yeah, no, I applied to every HBCU in the country.
I know, that's right.
I applied to a couple other, like.
Was HBCU, sounds like, was your first
Yeah.
preference?
I knew I wanted to go to the HBCU. Okay. When I was playing basketball, I definitely wanted to go to, the five big D1 schools. Miami University, stuff like that. But I went to Lincoln Homecoming because I remember, I don't know if I said, but all my friends are older. Like, all my friends are older and stuff, and they graduated from HBCUs, and I was going to the HBCUs, going to the homecomings and stuff like that.
Lincoln was the one you gotta go
to. For sure. And I went there, I said, I gotta go to the HBCU. I looked at,
where else can I go?
Right, exactly. I'm like, well, no, this is, and then I went to Rutgers after that, because my friend, he played football for Rutgers, and he actually in the NFL now. Shout out to Raheem Blackshear. I went to Rutgers, and it was cool, but it wasn't an HBCU. You feel me?
Right. Definitely not.
Get a little more seasoned.
Right.
Well, that's not. Well, I commend you for just still standing tall.
Right, absolutely.
But I think also you get a lot of kids from that generation do want to have a voice.
Right.
They definitely want to be heard. They definitely want to be seen. They definitely fighting for something. So I think that was the beauty that came out of it. It's like, hold on, y'all suppressed us or something, so we can't get back. So we going to step in a position of leadership. So our co-host, we have a guest that we like to ask around the Philly culture.
Who now we normally ask like somebody specifically from Philly, but I'm curious because you are in politics. Like, is there some, like, a main person that inspired you, activist, community leader, or something?
Actually, Meek.
Okay.
Meek is actually
that's mine.
For the young people,
that is my inspiration.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, like, people don't even understand how much Meek played a huge role in my matriculation into politics. Like, that civics class I was talking about, my teacher had a whole week on Meek Mill, right? We was
Adam in the history,
his teacher is smart.
Yeah, no, for real. So he related to us.
Right.
And that's where we was at. Right.
Definitely. Go ahead.
That's right where we was at.
Right.
That's when he dropped that championship album as soon as he got out. And Trauma, we like analyzed all the lyrics, right? So like when he say when he was talking about the self-hate, when he talking about the judge and how she throwing him in jail and stuff like that, he started talking about that. How Meek was talking that whole album, like that was like an educational album right there. Like
that's why I like him, because you could definitely get some deep lessons from him.
Right.
He do got his songs where it's like, I can't support you,
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, they're my motivational songs for me to go hard. So definitely inspiration. But it's crazy that when you think about politics, like you giving that different lens and the lyric breakdown. That's something that I do in my youth program is lyric breakdown, breaking down the lyrics, because some of these people be talking some stuff.
Definitely.
And that's the dope teacher that brings something that's relatable.
Yeah, no, for real. Like he did. We watched a CNN. That CNN. Episode where as though Meek was on there doing an interview with, asking like, why would you carry around a gun? I mean, why would you not carry around a gun? Yeah, why would you even carry around a gun in the first place? And like Meek, like he carried, like, I was just like, yo, how, like, I wouldn't be like that, but in my own way. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a Milaj version of being from the city and having
environments, right,
like
being able to put that out there the way that he is.
Yes,
definitely. He resonates with y'all.
That's what I'm saying. I love it though. I love it. Everything about him. Sometimes me can, like you said.
I mean, but that's
I'm
proud of it,
That's
right?
I'm
That's a part of that Philly swag. We gonna give it to you a few different ways. Big ass
and it's still part of the culture,
right?
So like I think that's like for me, it's like the definition of the Philly culture because he going to give you both sides.
Right.
It's a little crazy.
Going to give you a little side of I'm from Logan or I'm from North.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never going to forget where I came from, but there's definitely an elevation, you know. And I've been like. Since he been rocking with Young Bob, shout out to Young Bob. We are in the Hood Cast Studio, one of our sponsors. But since he was in the streets rapping on the videos, I've been watching for a while, and just to see the transition and to be able to come out of it. You know what I'm saying? But still to be an inspiration and a motivation for our city, and give back as many ways as possible. And even when he was talking about reform, like a lot of people, for me. Felt like it was controversial, but I understood what he's saying. Like, I'm not really trying to be the voice, but I'm going to speak on something that's affecting me and affecting my people.
And why not?
But know that I still am human. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I felt like he was saying. Like, I'm still human. I'm still going to make mistakes. I'm still going to say things. Because once you get put in a role like that, there's a light that shined on you, and it's sometimes like, oh, you can't make a mistake.
Right.
Things like
even
that.
with me right now, like, I had to learn it myself. Like, like I used to be going to parties and stuff like that. Even when I was in college, people was like, Martin Luther King wouldn't do that. Like, little stuff like that because I'm in a party and stuff like that. Like, I'm taking shots and stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Like, let me be great.
Like,
I'm still out here trying to record.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta relate to the people.
And like, but I was posting videos of me drinking and stuff like that, and people just be like, yeah, you can't,
your
like,
image.
My image, right. And I had to learn it, like, all right, I can still do what I want to do, but just go about it the right way, you know, so.
What you do is how you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You young, you still want to have fun and all that, but we want you to be the next Barack Obama.
For real.
She's gonna put you in the president's state. Yeah. So in the political world, where do you see yourself taking this?
So I definitely want to run for office in the future. However, I do want my organization to continue to expand. Right now we got 3 chapters: Virginia State, Atlanta. Shout out to my Atlanta.
Give me some inspiration. I'm trying to be like you.
It took a team to do that, but in Philly, like, so we got 3 different chapters, and I want to just continue to expand it and continue to make an impact. Like, I'm not about to be running for office if my organization is not well enough, whereas though it's running by itself. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's like my end goal for referral, just to have my organization be, you know, well put together and programmed. And continue to help people's lives, and then I'll run for like local election, probably state rep or city council. I don't know yet, but I definitely want to. I definitely see myself being a congressman in the future. So, but I know it's different milestones that I would have to, you know, reach.
So talk about your organization. What do y'all do? What age do y'all target? And what does those facets look like?
Yeah. So you create new beginnings. Like I said, we target to really guide the youth in the right direction, right? So the programs that we have, so first I would tell you about our 4 principles. Our 4 principles are leadership, guidance, civic engagement, community service, right? So we use leadership as a tool because all my organization is all youth led. Everybody on the e-board, everybody that, you know, organized, and our professional director is under 25. He got his master in
what the master talking about.
He got his master's in organization and management for nonprofits and corporations. So he just turned 25. So everything that we do is youth led. We learn how to, you know, be a little bit more professional when it comes to organizing and really running stuff like a corporation, like or like a business. You know, like because sometimes we when we think about a small business, we limit ourselves a little bit, like, all right, we think small business, but no, this is a really big, this is a real business. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we gotta really treat it like
business.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why we was very intentional on how we, you know, incorporated in our infrastructure on being youth led, right? So we can create a new beginning. That's like that creating new beginning part really like a crucial part of our mission statement, right? Like, so the guidance part. So like again, we have older Gen Zers helping, Gen Alphas, right? So the younger people that's coming before us. So right now we have a career and college readiness program, whereas though we helping high school seniors and high school juniors guide them in the right direction when it comes to what they want to do after graduation, right? Nice. So the college readiness program, basically what they do is we assign them with a mentor, right? So if somebody wanted to go to Howard, for example, and they wanted to be a pre-med student, I'll find somebody that's a Howard pre-med student to mentor them. You know what I'm trying to say? So and that's what we do. If we can't find a Howard grad, we find a
close to
it.
I love it. I'm excited. I know you're coming to Shoemaker for the series, and you were at what other school you went to?
I went to. So I was at that was an after school program.
Okay.
Boys and girls track.
Okay. I thought you had went to Pickett. I don't think they did third yet.
Yeah, no. I went to Building 21 as well. I went to Building 21, and that's my mission too, to just keep going to as many high schools as possible, because that's where a lot of people, that's where we getting our youth from. So
and when the youth speaks to the youth, it's more impactful than me. Right. Like I started when I was 18 years, so I know the impact of when you're closer in age. I can see myself. Right. You know what I'm saying? And the connections that y'all are giving is dope and powerful. Right. So I'm super excited for when you come to Pickett because not Pickett, Shoemaker. I mean, there's so many.
Where are you at?
I'm at Shoemaker now. Yeah.
Okay. Shoemaker is
West Philly. That's West Philly. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get you into Pickett and Gratz as well. I'm working on that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So. That's what basically right now. That's a core program that we got right now in the college career readiness program, and we say career too because we know everybody not want to go to college. College not for everybody, so that's where we got people that's they got their CDLs or in the cosmetology industry, barber and stuff like that also are willing to mentor kids as well. So
our future is bright, y'all. Y'all better stop playing. Y'all better stop playing with the next generation, okay?
Everything is possible.
Listen, that's the whole point of the Philly Culture Podcast is really to put on for the city because people's minds are so limited. And that is crazy because I was reading this book today, and in the book, the sister was saying like how she don't watch the news. Like she was suggesting not to watch the news because everything is repetition, and they only going to show you but so much. So we got to be the news and the avenues for people to find you. And then highlight you because it's not just you. You got a network, a whole corporation going on, and you know what I'm saying. Y'all young, y'all have degrees, y'all entrepreneurs, and the city need to know, and the youth need to know that you can come from these neighborhoods, you can come from the situations, the riots, all of that type stuff, but still give back or do something productive in your community, right here in your community. You know what I'm saying? Because it was also like people always talk about how I'm leaving my city, but who gonna take care of your city that you grew up in? So that was the whole mission behind the Philly Culture Podcast is the ones who are bringing culture here to the city. So my question was, and I forgot my question.
Real quick, I'm sorry, but this to add on is that like I was talking to one of my big brothers, and he was like a mentor in a sense. Like he asked me.
My question.
He asked me. He said, "Do you like the spotlight?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, that's the problem." He tried to make it seem like he was telling me that was the problem, but I was telling him like where I come from is not a lot of people that's like me. Like what's thorough in our generation is going to the streets, toting guns, rapping, and playing ball. That's the only thing. Getting the spotlight for that. Like it's crazy how this generation is now. Like they talking about rankings and stuff like that, and how many people you kill. Like that's how you get ranked. That's how you get the spotlight. You know what I'm trying to say? So like I'm like, nah, I like that because I really I want to be a spotlight, whereas though I can show people that it's possible and it's thorough to be positive or making a difference in the community. Like that's it's not about me liking the spotlight so everybody can just see me because I'm handsome. No, I don't care about that. Like I really don't care about that. I really want other people to understand like
it's purposeful.
Yes. And he understood. He got to understand it a little bit from there. But And then he had the. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I just also like the different mindset of different generations.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know that you have to do something different for your generation,
Right.
And it's definitely like most people are going to go viral for the negative things versus the positive things.
Right.
So, and for you to be able to stand on 10 toes and be able to have that conversation, to be able to shift his mind, understand in your values that you stand by, because you definitely have a level of integrity and different values that you stand by, which is very important in the work that you do.
Yes, integrity is a big word that I really like. I really highlight and emphasize when I even giving advice to my mentors and stuff like that, or mentees, as I should say, because that's people lose their integrity for money or clout or anything. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So like, I be like, as a man, I feel as though that's the biggest thing that you really, not even just as a man, but as a human being, like you really should really invest in basking in that characteristic trait.
Who are some of your mentors that have helped you, during this time? Because I see you are in a lot of different grassroots projects and a lot of different avenues and spaces. So who are some of like your mentors in the city of Philadelphia? I know you talked about your basketball coach, but who else has kind of helped you along your way?
So council member Isaiah Thomas, that's the first politician or elected official, as I should say, that really invested into me and really like took time out of his day to give me some game and give me some gems and stuff like that, and just pour into me in general. So I definitely would say him. He definitely like a big mentor to me, and just how he articulates himself too. Like that's one thing that I really like love about him. Like he really know how to conduct himself, and at the end of the day, he a Philly over here too. So like he still got that. He got that balance. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I love too. So I would say my mentor Wolf. Naeem, he definitely is a big mentor to me. He not even in the politics game, but his whole standards when it comes to like when it comes to just principles and how you move as a man and stuff like that. Like I pick his brain when it comes to that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and I got one more mentor. I can't even think of it. I would say because I don't be one of the, so. One thing about this, a lot of people be trying to become my mentors, right? And like, I'd be like, respectfully, I can't. I'm not about to be calling too many people, everybody my mentor now. Like, no, like, you my big brother, right? Like, I tell him, like, yeah, like, you my big brother, and I appreciate you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, Anthony Bellman, my big brother. I can call him and ask him about anything. He just stay rep in my district. So John Hinkins, he running for office, but he teach me about all the little micro, scopes of politics. Like he teach me all the little this look is the like he give me like there's so many people that really pour into me that I really like. But yeah, like that's one thing I had to learn. Like everybody can't be a mentor.
Right. And I love that you have mentors in your field and in your lane. And that you went and found these people to be able to give you the best of guidance. So, shout out to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to you.
And that's the biggest cheat code, to be honest. Like, in order to be successful, you gotta really target the people or connect with the people that's where you want to be at. And then I ask as many questions as possible. Like, I ask as many questions as possible just so I can get some insight on what's the cheat code, what's the game. Like, this is really like life. I feel as though life is a game in general. Isaiah Thomas said politics not a game, because if you go into politics thinking it's a game, you'll get knocked out just like that. Like he's like boxing, that's not a game. That's actually something that you gotta have strategy in.
Right.
Yeah,
strategic.
You gotta be strategic. Basketball, you can play basketball. You can't play boxing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's like politics, that's a boxing game.
True.
Business in general is a boxing game, because if you ain't trained and you go in that fight,
you
gonna get right. You gonna knock out the words.
With the words.
He broke that right down to me. I'm like, all right.
I'm sure they trying to hand you the game book though. With somebody 20 come into into the office or whatever, and they just ready to give it to you. That's what's up.
And it's also like, I know a lot of people, if y'all watch them TV series and stuff like that, when it comes to politics and lawyers and stuff like that, it is a whole nother time. Like,
the real ones or reality?
Like the fiction joints.
Oh, okay.
But the fiction joints be really like real, like
okay,
real life,
they
like,
really behind the
they
scenes
really
acting crazy.
Huh?
Huh?
Like, yo, I'm trying to tell you, there's so many stories that I can tell y'all off camera that I'm just like, yo, like this really how y'all do it. Like, it's like they cut through, like, and some of them, it's a lot of good people that really are happy for me that I'm getting into that, and they see that my heart is pure, and they want to listen to me. And some people looking at me like, oh, he competition, he trying to do my job. And I gotta identify that. Like, I identify like who's the ones that you know, because some people telling me like, oh yeah, when you want to run for office, I'm like, you too young. I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, I know. But it's just like, you know, you gotta navigate.
That's well, I commend you. This shows me. I just think about how young black men are so smart, so talented, and so gifted, and that you leaned into all of those things and just continue to progress. I can't wait to continue to see you elevate and just, you know, again, continue to just be a role model for the city of Philadelphia. Continue to stay in that light, because as black people, sometimes we tend to dim our light because of what people will tell us. But when you move with the right integrity and you know you're doing it for the right reason, you gotta keep getting out there in that light. And you know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be people that's watching you, and like I said, it's a lot of people that mindset that feel like our next generation is lost, but you letting them know that it's not. It's a whole team of people coming behind you. Like Young Bob said, it's different when it's 1 versus when it's 60. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're creating, new beginnings for the youth and just our next generation, and to know that y'all in a position to speak up for us. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys. No, for real.
We definitely look forward to seeing you in the future. Like, I remember when we interviewed him. Yes, look at him. Super
Check out the
proud.
Philly Culture Podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
10 years ago.
That's when Philly Culture Podcast will be up there.
Yes, exactly.
You feel me? Like we going up together. You feel me? I can see I see the potential in it. I definitely see how y'all, you know, conducting this professional. I love it.
Thank you. So tell everybody how to find you, if anything, you know, that you got coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Things
so
like
yeah,
that.
my Instagram is one Lil Mook, one LILMUK, and my our organization Instagram is YCNB__. You also can find us on Twitter, YCNB__, Facebook, Youth Creating New Beginnings, and you can look at our link in those Instagram platforms to find our website, and just to get a little bit of more, you know, background of our organization and how you can join, and a lot more other things that we got going on.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? I got a lot of things next. I'm gonna be honest, not just for, you know, the organization, but right now I'm in an internship for commercial real estate, so that's more so I'm just really trying to like figure out how I can get that equity, because politics and, you know, community service work is not really where the money is like that. But however, I definitely want to figure out how I can create some generational wealth and be, you know, financially stable enough to, you know, pour into the community. So I'm doing that. I'm part of the Philadelphia Youth Commission. I'm the vice chair. I just got elected. I didn't tell nobody yet.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Congratulations.
Yeah, vice chair of policy. So basically, I'm gonna be, you know, proposing policies and stuff like that to the mayor and the city council members in the city of Philadelphia. I got a lot of stuff that's going on, and just stay tuned.
Right.
We open the
on
doors.
your time.
Yeah.
Well,
we tuned in.
Definitely.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Philly Culture Podcast. You can find us on all streaming platforms, and stay tuned as we have some more great guests coming. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Or morning.